Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny, and we're going to be going over a few key concepts in today's video. We'll be talking about connecting data in Tableau. We'll be talking about creating a visualization in a sheet, and we'll be talking about creating calculated fields and even dive into filtering a little bit. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to a Microsoft Excel file, and I'll explain what I'm doing in just a second here. All right, now that I've loaded my data up, I'm going to drag in different sheets from my Excel workbook. And what we're doing here today is we're looking at Gallup Q12 data from our company, and we are trying to analyze what the difference is between genders and by manager, how each manager stacks up in the Q12 responses. So that's what I'm going to be working with today. So what I'm going to do here is connect two data sheets that I've dragged in from the left-hand side, and I'm going to connect it with employee ID. Now, it's really important that you get some sort of a comparable primary key that each worksheet will have so that you can connect the different worksheets appropriately. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to go to the worksheet, just labeled sheet 1 here at first. And I'm actually going to start with renaming it gender data because that's what we'll be looking at here at first. All right, so what we see here on the left is all the different fields from our tables. We've got a Q12 data table, and we've got an employer data table. In the middle, this is going to be where our visualization goes. We can drop in whatever field we want. On the left-hand side, we've got filters, and we've got marks to change different colors of things, and we'll be getting to that here shortly. All right, so first what I'm going to do is drag in manager name to the columns. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually create a calculated field. So let's get into calculated fields. What I want to do is aggregate a few of the different Q12 questions into one averaged score. So how I like to do it is I right click on the data that I want, and then I hover over create and I click calculated field. Okay, so what we do then is name our calculated field, and then you just type in whatever formula you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and skip forward and do that. All right, so what I've done is I've created a calculated field called developing, and it averages out the scores of Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, Q11, and Q12. You can create a calculated field all out of any kind of number data from your sheets that you've imported. So now that I've got a calculated field, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it to rows. Also, what I'm going to do is drag the same calculated field over from the left-hand side to color. Okay, now we've got a bit of an issue because this is summing up all of the scores for each manager. And that means that the managers with the most employees are going to have the highest scores. So that's not quite fair. What we should do is change the calculation from being the sum of my parameter to now measuring the average. Again, let me do that again. You can simply select the drop down, go to measure, and then click on average. And I'm going to do the same thing with the color over here. And you'll notice that it'll change to a more appropriate scale, and it should go along with the height of the bar. All right, so we can see that the lighter colors show a smaller bar, and then the darker colors show a larger bar. Now, we've got board of directors with a perfect developing score, and this is because they have one employee. So what I actually would like to do is I would like to filter out the managers' names. And the best way to do that is to find a manager name field and to just drag it up to filters. It's very simple. Now you get a pop-up that'll show a list of every single manager in this case. It would show whatever parameter is from your data, from whatever you dragged in. And I want to get rid of the board of directors. In fact, I'm also going to get rid of another one of these managers because they have just started here. And that is Webster Butler, which is all the way at the bottom. It does go by alphabetical order. All right, now I'm going to hit apply. And you can see that some of those bars in the background have disappeared. And once I hit OK, now I've got the data that I want. Now what I would like to do is I would like to add in the different genders. So this is going to allow us to compare the developing scores of every manager for each gender. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it to rows. Now what we've got is the kind of final product of what I wanted to talk about here today. We've got every single manager, as you can see along the x-axis at the bottom. We've got every manager's average development score on the y-axis, and then you've got it from gender ID 0 and gender ID 1 on the tops and bottoms. All right, and that's all we're going to be going over today. Thanks for watching.